Hi everyone, it's your girl Jennifer again. So today I'm going to learn how to draft this agbada effect free gown. So as you can see, it's so simple. So let's go to the word table if this is something you like. Now to the word table, I fold my fabric into four. I folded it into four. So I'm going to mark my starting line. So this line is my starting line. All the other measurement is going to start from this line. So I measure my neckline. I'm using 3.5 inch by 2.5 inch for the neckline. So from there, I'll measure my shoulder line. So my shoulder line is 7.5 inches, but I'm going to make it 8 inches. So from there, I'll measure 6 inches. That's it. From the shoulder line, measuring 6 inches for the agbada in fence. I'm using 6 inches for it. So from there, I'll go down by 10 inches, which is for my armhole. I hope you understand what I did
Okay,
here.
sorry,
So
the
from
10
there, I'll
inches for the
go
sleeve
down by
length. This
10
is totally
inches
optional.
for
Depend
the
how you want your
armhole
sleeve to end.
neck.
So
So
from
I'll
there,
measure
I'll
it. Then
measure
from
the
center line, I'll go in by 10 inches. That is my void divided by 4 is 10 inches. So I'll add extra 6 inches. That is depending how wide or how big you want the gown to be. So I'll connect it to the armhole. Right, so I go ahead to connect it to the armhole and then mark it straight to the hem of the garment. This is trying to ensure that I'm taking the accurate measurement. That is my bust divided by 4 plus extra 6 inches, making it 16 inches. So I'm connecting it down to the armhole, having connected to the hem of the fabric. So I'll go ahead to cut out the neckline. This is the neckline. Remember, this fabric is folded into two, so I'll cut it out. Then this is the front and back. I have removed the back pieces from the back, so this is the front. So I'm going to work on the front neckline. Okay, so that's the difference between the both neckline. The front neckline is going to go straight down because I'm going to open the front pattern. So this is moving it down, so I'm cutting it down. I'm just taking a little bit of this. Remember, the fabric is on fold, so I'm taking like 1.5 inch. I'm cutting out like 1.5 inch, so when I open it, it will be up to 3 inches. All right, from the space between the two pattern, like I'm cutting it out right now. Now this is just how it is. Okay, so I'll go ahead to cut it out like so. All right, yeah, so the front pattern is now two piece. So I'll trim out the neckline a bit, just trim it out. So this is just it is now open. So the next step is to place it where and open the neckline a bit wider. Just make sure you trim out a little bit. Don't start from the shoulder line, just a little bit, so that the shoulder line, I mean the neck width will be the same with the back pattern. So just cut it out like so. Okay, yeah, okay, I think this is it for now. So this is how the front pattern is. So the next step is to place the back piece on it.
Alright, so I've placed the front pattern and the right pattern, that is right side facing each other. So I'm using Mikado fabric for this. So for you to know the front pattern is a bit shiny than the back pattern. The back pattern is always rough when you scratch it with your fingernails. So place it front and the right side facing each other, and I'll go ahead to join the shoulders like I've done and join the side pattern. So I'll mark out my sleeve length. I've marked it out, which is 10 inches. So from that place, I'll mark out 6 inches. Remember, I take 6 inches from the added 6 inches for the agbada and fed. So I'll mark it out, and from the center part, I mark out 3 inches. Remember, the half of 6 inches is 3 inches. So I'm going to fold this agbada in fed by 3 inches, just like I do so. Hope you understand what I'm doing here. I fold it up by 3 inches. That is, I'm adding it up 3 inches. That is, that 3 plus 3 is 6 inches. That's how I'm going to fold it, like so. Okay, that is, if you mention the both side of this fold is 3 inches on both sides, making it 6 inches. So I fold it up and make a little stitch at the shoulder line. So depending how you want to style yours here, you can make the stitch stop at the armhole or just the shoulder part. But mine, I make the stitch to stop at the waistline. That is how I want mine to be. So as you can see, the stitches, I made it to stop at the waistline, just at the front and the back pattern. Okay, so now I'm going to measure the length of my fabric from the hem of the fabric to the other parts of the fabric. So I'm measure like 3.5 yard. 3.5 yard, that is what I got for mine. You can measure yours when you're doing yours, because our lengths are not the same. So I've measured it. I'm gonna have to cut out the rope for it and sew up the rope like so. Okay, after sewing it up, I'm going to iron it and press it down. Then I measure 3.5 inch for the buttons. Okay, I'm going to use pressing button for this. Look at how the pressing button is. So I'll press it. I will use my hand needle and sew in the pressing buttons on it. Okay, so this is just how it is. This is it. So the next step is to add my rope. I measure from the waistline. I'll measure my darts from the center part. I measure the darts of it and add my rope. Remember to sew it on top of the fabric, or else you'll not be able to wear it. So this is to make a little bit effect on it. And now this is how the gown is. Okay, this is the outcome of it. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video.